Hello, I am Ricky J, and welcome back for another reaction video with me, Recky. We've done a lot of boats, submarines, aircrafts. Now, we're taking a look at the Javelin Anti Tank Missile and how powerful it actually is. It's a beast. I really want to find out how of a beast it is. It's going to be amazing. It's from US Military News. If you want to check out his channel, the link is in the description as well as for this video we're watching. Go in and smack that sub for him and like his video. But do the same for me. Like and subscribe. That would be greatly appreciated. If there's anyone of you that has a tremendous suggestion when it comes to something that is boots on the ground, as in a couple of guys who suggest some artillery, stuff like that. I want more of that. We've been on land. We haven't been on land for that much. We've been on up in the air by the clouds, and we've been at the ocean. Let's find out if there's any more of the cool stuff that's actually on the ground. Let me know in the comment section. That would be greatly appreciated. If you want to, of course. If you want to. You see all the names going by, as per usual. That's my awesome people that is supporting Recky. Greatly appreciate each and every one of you guys, channel members and patrons. And as for the Supreme Tier donors, David Bangtson, buddasquirrel, Southern Mom, Deja, Peggy, Victor, Walt, and T-Mag. Thank you so much for the awesome support. Love you all. If you want to join them, click join to become a member. And of course, if you want to check out my Patreon, link is in the comment section. Basically, let's find out how powerful the Javelin is. I mean, look at the size of that freaking missile, though.
How powerful is Javelin Anti Tank Missile?
And yes, it's American.
The US-made FGM-148 Javelin is one of the premier portable anti-tank missile systems in the world.
Boom.
It's also an expensive piece of kit, with each missile typically costing more than the targets it eliminates. Still, the infrared-guided Javelin has proven itself in combat in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Syria, and has reliable shtick that should work on virtually any tank out there. It hits them on the weak top armor. It also exposes its crew to less danger than the typical guided missile system. Because it's such a lightweight system, it may end up being a first responder on the ground to emergencies that could be described as massive, unexpected tank invasions.
Look at that.
A scenario the U.S. military could have faced during Operation Desert Shield when it deployed light infantry to defend Saudi Arabia and currently fears in the Baltics. The Javelin is so effective that who the United States sells or gives Javelins to has become a political issue on more than one occasion.
I get that.
Within the U.S. military, the Javelin also looks to transition from being purely an infantry system to being mounted.
I gotta say something that is giving me goosebumps regarding the Javelin is that as you can see, you click and it goes out. Then for a couple of seconds, it's just dead. But then it like ignites and gets like a flame from the back end, and he goes to kill the target. Come on. It doesn't get any cooler than that. It doesn't. Period.
Mounted on vehicles. So, how does one throw these anti-tank spears? And why are they so powerful? The Javelin doesn't look as sleek and deadly as its name would have you think. It resembles a clunky dumbbell slightly over 1 meter in length. Fortunately, you don't need good looks to blow up a tank. The Javelin's Command Launch Unit, CLU, has a sophisticated infrared sensor with multiple viewing modes, including 4x optical zoom, a 4x green-lit thermal view, a 12x narrow vision zoom activated for targeting.
Holy crap.
The seeker in the missile even provides a fourth 9x thermal viewing mode. The CLU can therefore serve as a handy scanning device for the infantry. The thermal viewers on the Javelin need to be cooled off to function well, which theoretically takes 30 seconds, but might take a bit longer if you're in Baghdad and it's a breezy 120 degrees.
So that's the only downside. It's a bit clunky. I can see that it's a bit clunky. But I think you need to be like two guys to just set it. But if you have it on you and you're sitting in a correct position, it looks really comfortable to check out the scopes in this one. And of course it needs to cool down. But like he said, that's only a downside when you are in hotter countries. But that's basically where the war always is. So
at noon. The system also incorporates multiple safeguards to avert or abort accidental launch. The CLU, when
did he say that? Did he say that?
Function well, which theoretically takes 30 seconds, but might take a bit longer if you're in Baghdad and it's a breezy 120 degrees at noon. The system also incorporates multiple safeguards to avert or abort accidental launch.
No, that's something I want to know how. Like a press of a button or just yell at it? No. Sorry, my bad. Get back here. Or like a push on a button.
The CLU, when loaded with a missile, weighs in at 50 pounds. Most of the weight comes from the missile and can be fired from a crouch or even seated position. That's a lot lighter than the wire-guided tow or other long-range missiles that typically required a heavy tripod. Still, it's not exactly something you'd want to run a marathon with. Once the firer acquires a target, locks the infrared seeker onto it, and pulls the trigger, the Javelin missile is ejected out of the CLU without using its rocket motor in soft launch, creating relatively little backblast.
Soft launch. To try to get it in here because I want to know that.
Missile launch backblast not only makes it easy for opposing forces to spot the launcher after firing, but can make launching while inside a confined space, a building, a deadly risk. So the Javelin's small backblast is very handy for keeping the operator alive. Still, the launch does blow back some gas, so you don't want to stand directly behind it. Afterwards, the Javelin's gunner the gunner could play Candy Crush on their cell phone if they wanted to, because unlike most long-range anti-tank missiles, the Javelin is a fire-and-forget system and requires no further input after launch. The Javelin crew is free to duck into cover and concealment rather than being forced to remain fixed in place guiding the missile toward the target, as is necessary with semi-automatic command line-of-sight SACLOS systems such as the wire-guided tow or laser-guided AT-14 Cornet.
Correct me if I'm wrong, the Javelin can be set to two different modes. Go up in the air and hit the soft spot on a tank. But there's another that you can set it to go straight. If I'm not mistaken, and I don't know if it's heat guided, but I think it is. But let me know if I'm all the way, I'm wrong as hell. Let me know in the comment section. I know you will, but anyway.
After launch, a Javelin shoots forward horizontally for a second before its rocket motor ignites and it climbs up 150 meters into the air, known as a curveball shot. It's quite a sight.
Holy crap.
The missile's infrared seeker, benefiting from gyroscopes and gimbals, makes adjustments using thrusters to ensure its trajectory leads it to plunge almost vertically into the infrared signature it was locked onto. A Javelin fired in this manner will strike the top armor of an armored vehicle, which is generally much thinner than the frontal or even side armor. The Javelin 127mm shaped charge warhead is estimated to penetrate the equivalent of 600 to 800 millimeters of rolled hardened armor, RHA, which is not particularly impressive given that modern tanks now feature composite armor that is extra effective against such warheads. But that really doesn't matter. It's still more than enough to penetrate the top armor of anything out there, at least as long as we don't consider other defensive systems. One common defense, which sometimes does reinforce top armor, is explosive reactive armor, ERA, a layer of explosive bricks covering a tank intended to prematurely detonate the shaped charges used by missiles.
Oh, Lord.
However, the Javelin
Wow.
has a tandem charge warhead designed to defeat ERA using a precursor charge at the front of the warhead to take out the local ERA brick.
Okay. I didn't know that. That's really cool. I know what the Javelin is. But I didn't know that. That was really cool. So they have something that blows up before. I can't even explain it. I gotta go back. Holy crap. Oh, come on.
Still more than enough to penetrate the top armor of anything out there, at least as long as we don't consider other defensive systems.
Yeah.
One common defense, which sometimes does reinforce top armor, is explosive reactive armor, ERA, a layer of explosive bricks covering a tank intended to prematurely detonate the shaped charges used by missiles. However, the Javelin has a tandem charge warhead designed to defeat ERA using a precursor charge at the front of the warhead.
Precursor charge. That's gonna break my Swedish tongue.
To take out the local ERA brick, blasting open a gap through which the main warhead can hit the tank's conventional armor. The Javelin can also be fired in direct attack mode, useful for hitting targets that are too close for the top attack or that benefit from top cover, like a bunker or cave entrance. The direct fire mode could also be effective against low-flying helicopters. One of the Javelin's few limitations is its range, 2.5 kilometers. Though adequate for most combat situations, older missiles like the TOW or Cornet boast ranges of 5 kilometers or more.
Cornet. I don't know what that is. Freaking beast, though.
So, do they actually work?
Yeah. Yeah.
The Javelin was designed in the 70s and 80s when the leaders of the U.S. military had nightmares about being overrun by endless hordes of Soviet tanks, a fear worsened by the generally poor performance of the M47 Dragon missile in use at the time. However, the Javelin finally entered service in the U.S. military in 1996 after the Cold War had ended and first saw action in 2003 during the U.S. invasion of Iraq. At the time, the United States was not able to deploy troops to northern Iraq by land, so instead it airdropped special forces and paratroopers that fought alongside Kurdish Peshmerga fighters. In the Battle of Becca Pass, a force of a few dozen special forces operators and a large Peshmerga contingent engaged and destroyed an Iraqi mechanized company of over 100 soldiers. The U.S. force had just 4 Javelin launch units, 19 Javelin missiles were fired, 17 of which hit, destroying 2 T-55 tanks, 8 MT-LB armored personnel carriers, and several trucks. Reportedly, all of the Javelin shots were made at 2,200 meters range or further, close to or exceeding the official maximum range of the weapon, and one hit was even reported at 4,200 meters.
Wow.
Javelins knocked out several more tanks during the Iraq War, including Type 69 tanks and Lion of Babylon T-72s, none of them cutting-edge types.
Beast.
As the conventional phase of the conflict ended, the Javelin's main duty soon came to sniping smaller, softer targets. The Javelin's precise targeting scope was ideal for spotting and taking out at long ranges insurgent heavy weapons teams armed with machine guns, missiles, or recoilless rifles, as well as the occasional pickup truck. Other weapon systems available to the infantry lack the combination of long range and precision. The future of the Javelin. The Javelin has undergone quite a few upgrades since initial deployment in 1996. Let's take a look at 3 of the most important ones. Given that the Javelin has been used primarily to hit soft targets and structures, a new version of the Javelin warhead with a deadlier blast fragmentation has been introduced.
Okay.
Designated as the FGM-148F, this new warhead is supposedly just as effective against tanks and no costlier than its predecessors. Finally, a new extended range javelin has been recently tested, capable of hitting targets up to 4.5 kilometers away.
Wow.
This is significant, as one of the chief rationales for keeping the TOW missile as the standard vehicle-mounted anti-tank weapon was its longer range of nearly 5 kilometers. A long-range javelin would seem to be superior. In any case, the Javelin missile remains one of the United States' most potent systems on the ground, and one that seems set to increase in capability and be deployed on a greater number of platforms. Its presence or absence on battlefields around the world will remain both consequential and highly scrutinized.
What a beast. I mean, I don't have anything to say. We all know that the Javelin is definitely one of the best anti-tank weapons out there. So some of the coolest features is on that weapon. I really like that. It looks really clunky. Like you carry it and you got to carry the sight. One dude have to carry the sight, the other dude have to carry the pipe or whatever you want to call it. But then again, you can take out enemy tanks a couple of kilometers away from you, and that is just enough. I carry that. No worries. I'm gonna carry that because that shit can help us out if shit hits the fan and we encounter a T-72. You know what I'm talking about. I'm going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, smack the like. And do not forget to hit subscribe. A lot of you guys don't. Please do. It's an easy and free way to support me. If you want to support me even further, check out the Patreon link will be in the comment section. And of course, hit join to become a member. Check what you get. Until next time, I'm Recky. You stay safe.